just wanted to check in with you guys and see what's up. So, I had ordered a couple of Stranger Things shirts from Hot Topic. My parents had given me some birthday money, so I went and I bought a couple of Stranger Things shirts. One of them came in the mail, and it was a completely different shirt from the one that I had bought. And so, yeah, I'll still keep the shirt. I'll still keep the shirt because it's a cute shirt. But I was like, you know what? They're having a sale at Hot Topic. I still have some birthday money, so I went and I bought another Stranger Things shirt. So yeah, I've been on this whole Stranger Things kick. But it was like $10. Hot Topic was having like a big sale on graphic tees. And as you guys know, I love graphic tees, and I want to add more Stranger Things to my collection, more Stranger Things tees, because I do have like 2 Hellfire Club shirts that I found at Ross a while back, because as you guys know, I love all things Eddie Munson. So yeah, Hot Topic delivered one of my shirts yesterday. It's huge. I should have known when I ordered a shirt from Hot Topic to definitely size down, because I usually am a medium or large in clothing, and Hot Topic, the medium was huge. Oh well, who cares? I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it and I like it. If I cared what you thought, Fred, then I wouldn't wear it. But I don't care what people think. I just wear the shirt. I have some other shirts too. I have some other shirts that I could have worn, but I like the Hurley shirt. I don't care. Look, at the end of the day, I like the shirt. So yeah. Look, I either can buy a shirt that is too tight on me, or I could buy a shirt that's too big on me that looks like, looks too big on me. I could do that. But it fits me. It's not like it's tight to the point where the shirt doesn't fit me and it's riding up. It fits me. And I like the shirt. I love Hurley. I've been into Hurley since I was in high school, okay? That's how deep my Hurley love goes for the brand Hurley. And I found a ton of Hurley at Ross recently, so I've been buying a lot of Hurley shirts. In fact, one of my very first Hurley hoodie was when I was probably out of high school, just out of high school. This might have been 2002. That was one of the first hoodies I bought, and I still have it somewhere in this house. Pretty cool hoodie. I think they used to have a Hurley store here in LA, and that's where I got it. But again, I take people's opinions, okay, guys? I don't want you to think I don't. I take your opinions, and if your opinions are right, I will tell people they are right. Because when I was in high school, let me explain what is it about Hurley clothes that I like so much, Fred. When I was in high school, I used to hang out with the skater kids, okay? So I was into that whole skater culture when I was in high school. Hurley, Roxy, Macbeth, Volcom, still into Vans, Airwaves. I think it's called Airwaves. Airwaves. There was just so many skater companies out there. This was like the late 90s. The late 90s. And my mom used to take me to all these skater stores, and I would buy a lot of these skater clothes because I was really into the whole skater look. It was just a brief thing that I was into. It wasn't like my whole personality. Then again, I'm 16, okay? I think a lot of 16, 15, 17, 18-year-olds, a lot of teenagers had awkward looks when they were in high school. Nobody in high school, okay, I don't want to say nobody. Not everybody in high school dressed like they were a movie star, okay? Not everybody in high school dressed that way. But to be really super honest with you, I was an awkward kid in high school. I was very, very awkward. I remember wanting to fit in to high school so badly that I told my mom, take me to a nice store, because there was this girl in my class that'd be like, oh, is your mom too poor? She can't afford you nice clothing? And I remember one time I told her, I said, well, can your mom not afford you more clothing because you're barely wearing anything to school? And ever since then, she never bothered me, because I'm like, if my mom is so poor and you think she's buying me bad clothing, then your mom should have bought you more clothing to go to school, because she was wearing like this like croppy top, and she was wearing like a mini skirt to high school, and I was like, girl, you need more clothing on you. It is. Hurley is considered skater clothing. There was like a skater culture in the 90s. I want to say it was pretty big in the 90s because of Tony Hawk, because Tony Hawk was the it skater of the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. And I mean, you have a kid, Fred. You would know. Your kid probably more than likely has played Tony Hawk, the skater game that they had for the PlayStation. She's more than likely probably played it, because she's the age range of who would have probably played the Tony Hawk game. Me, her, the millennials. No, there was like a time when skater clothing was really big. I want to say the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s. Nowadays, I don't know if it's as big as it was when I was in high school, but when I was in high school, a lot of people were dressed up in skater clothing. They had the Jinko jeans, which are these oversized jeans with the really big, like, wide leg at the bottom. The Jinko jeans were very, very popular. I did not personally have a pair of Jinko jeans. I don't think my mom, when I was a teenager, would have bought me Jinko jeans because they were kind of expensive. And my mom was not really into buying me expensive clothing as a teenager. So a lot of my clothing did come from Old Navy, Target, Pick and Save. Believe it or not, Pick and Save. When it was called Pick and Save. But it's Big Lots now, and Big Lots does not exist anymore. So my mom, she bought me a lot of clothing at discount stores. But there was this like guy in my school who was like a through and through skater. He would always bring a skateboard to school. He was always wearing all the skater brands, and he would be skating in class. He was kind of a weird guy, to be honest with you. And he had such a skater name. His name was like Garth or something. I think that was one of the skater guys knew. And then there was another skater guy I knew named Joel. Joel is like married now with 2 kids. It's amazing when you think about it, how we used to look in high school versus how we look now. Because in high school, I was very awkward. I was super awkward in high school. And the fact that in high school, I managed to make through high school is pretty crazy, man. Hey, AZ. It's going to be a short stream. Crazy. So, they opened a new In-N-Out in Tennessee, which is pretty awesome. Mick woohoo. So yesterday, guys, I literally had a panic attack yesterday, okay? So it is like about 6 or 5 o'clock in the night, and I'm hearing these sounds outside of my door. And I am thinking to myself, why am I hearing voices outside of my door? So the panic attack in me is like, get a cast iron pan, see who it is. So I'm calling my parents because my parents had left to go somewhere. I had the house to myself. I'm calling my parents and I'm like, I swear I hear somebody at our door and they're talking really loudly. My mom is laughing on the phone. She's like, oh, nothing's happening at our house. Nobody's coming to get you, Lisa. Yes, we are. You are keeping tabs. So it turns out the person that I heard at my door was my neighbor. My neighbor had come to tell us that coyotes were in our front yard. And I felt kind of weird and awkward because I was like, okay, it's our neighbor. Here I am having a panic attack thinking someone's robbing our house, and it's just our neighbor coming to knock at our door crazily to tell us that there's coyotes near our front yard. But you gotta understand, it's dark. It's dark, okay? It's dark, and I'm not gonna answer the door for anybody when it's dark. Unless you told me you're coming ahead of time, I'm not going to answer the door for you. My neighbor came over to apologize and said, sorry for scaring you last night. Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 o'clock and it's dark and you got somebody like banging on your door. Of course, you're going to assume the worst. I saw a javelina walking around. Crazy. There's crazy things that you will see when you're in your town. There's crazy things. One time, I kid you not. One time, I kid you not, I was walking outside and there was like a coyote that was across the street from me. I was just walking my dog and the coyote was across the street from me, and I literally had a little bit of a panic because I was like, please don't come across the street and attack my dog. Luckily for me, the coyote, I stopped and the coyote left, but still. What's a javelina? Is a javelina native to Arizona? Because I know that certain states have animals that are specific to where they are. Like Arizona, I know Arizona is a really hot place. And I know that there's a lot of scorpions. A lot of scorpions in Arizona. As I said in the past, I drove through Arizona. I did not stay in Arizona long enough to visit it, but I drove it. A wild pig type animal. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Javelina. Crazy. Yeah, the one time I drove through Arizona, I was telling my parents we need to get some Mexican food because you guys are like our compadres, You guys have good Mexican food as well. Like when people talk about places to visit in United States, they talk about Arizona, California, New Mexico as being great places to get Mexican food. Usually that's the case. Havali, say the Havalina. You know, somebody the other day, or is it the other week, left a comment on one of my videos. And they were like, why do you pronounce words so wrong? And, you know, I was like, man, do I have to make a video telling people that I was in speech therapy since I was in kindergarten and I still can't pronounce some words right? Because I feel like I need to make a video telling people that. Because in the past, I had commented to people and told them that I have a mumbling issue and that I can't pronounce certain letters right. But no, I don't think I need to. People, you know, they can say what they want. Nailed it. Oh, thank you. Hello, Chris. No, because like there's certain words that I have a problem with pronouncing, like brother, another. Um, the other week I said turntable, but somebody thought I said churn table, like you churning butter. In fact, now that I think about it, when I do say turn table, it sounds like churn table. So yeah, I do have a little bit of a problem with pronouncing certain words, which is not all my fault because I was in speech therapy pretty much all of my life as a kid. So I had to, you know, fix and correct the words that I say because when I was in elementary school, I had found out I had speech problems, I had ADD, I had a learning disability. Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you. You never know what you're going to get in this stream, to tell you the honest truth. You never know. If you watch a stream expecting like a structured streams, like the other streams that people do, I don't do structured streams, and I don't like to do structured streams. I just don't like to be like, oh yeah, I gotta stick to a certain topic. That's probably why a lot of these other streams like Concert Buddy, Jason Roxas, James, Paul, all those other streams do so well because they stick to a structure and I don't. The stream of unconscious, that's right. That is totally right. You know, the thing about me is in the past when I did like my very, very first stream, which was like about probably 5 years ago, when I had 100 subscribers, it was crazy. It was my first time ever doing a stream on YouTube. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I still have the stream up because I keep up my super old streams. And it was crazy that I had 100 subscribers and I did a stream about it saying, woohoo, I got 100 subscribers. In the VC, getting 100 subscribers is a big deal in the VC. I mean, this community, as it is very niche. Growing in the vinyl community is very hard. It is super hard. When people talk about wanting to do a vinyl community channel, I said, unless you're okay with the fact that your channel will probably be dormant and won't grow very much, then yeah, I would suggest starting a channel about records. Because when I think about it, I think about the top channels who have a lot of subscribers in this very niche communities of ours. There's Melinda Murphy. There's Norman Maslow. Too many records, or some people call them too many dicks. It's an inside joke. Abigail DeVoe. Who else? Frank, 33 RPM. I love that channel. In fact, it's one of my favorite channels when it comes to vinyl content because Frank was actually one of the very first channels I found when I was looking up channels who talked about records. I had came across Frank from 33 RPM. He's based out of Canada. Is it Windsor, Canada? No, he's based out of somewhere in Canada, and I don't exactly remember where he's based out of in Canada, but he's from Canada. I remember watching like his really early stuff, and I watched one of these videos where he had actually opened up a 40-year-old Jimi Hendrix sealed record, and that ended up being a nightmare because the record itself was ruined from all of the years of being sealed. That was a pretty interesting video. I'm thinking who else? Who else has a very big channel? There's a lot of channels out there, but those are the channels that actually come to mind when I think of very big channels, because our community is very niche. And growing your channel to 100K while talking about records is very doable, because now that I think about it, there's a lot of audiophile channels that actually have 100K. And I'm subscribed to a lot of them. I think there's one called A New Day Record, Cheap Audio Man. There's a lot of analog channels now that I think of it. There's a lot of analog channels that I'm actually subscribed to who actually have about the same amount of subscribers as Melinda Murphy, 33 RPM, Norman Masloff, and some of them even have more than those people. And it's the audiophile channels, which is fine and dandy. I like the audiophile channels, but I feel like I can't fucking relate. I can't fucking relate to some of these audiophile channels because I'm not a person that aims to have this like really fucking expensive setup for my records. I like my setup. I've had my setup for 8 or 9 or 10 years now. It does good. You know, sometimes occasionally I'll get people that will comment and tell me, you've got all these records. Why don't you have an expensive setup? I'm fine with my setup. I'm fine with it. Hello, Dwayne. I know it's a stream of unconscious, but I was just thinking about that recently, about all the channels that we've had over the years, and I was just thinking about it. You know, I was watching Paul stream yesterday, and Paul has been doing these videos for like, I want to say he's been doing videos for 10 plus years. I remember watching Paul in the earlier days, like 2015, 2016. I remember the first time I had discovered Paul's channel. I think how I had discovered Paul's channel was that Paul subscribed to me. Because, you know, when I first started out, a lot of my videos were record-centric. I had, you know, made a lot of vlogs of me going to Amoeba, made a lot of vlogs at thrift stores. I did a lot of my earlier videos about music. And I think I somehow had crossed paths with Paul. And that's how I found his channel. That's how I found Randy, Dead Wax, Dots and Loops, 8 Vinyl Low. I found so many channels through doing the videos that I do, which is pretty cool if you think about it. And then one of the very, very, very first streams that I saw here in the vinyl community had to be Randy or Dots and Loops. Like Randy, every Friday, Randy would stream and he would play a lot of garage rock and just a lot of his records. So we would all commence on Fridays and we would go and watch Randy stream. And Randy would play the records. So it was a good time. Because we would just be, you know, oh yeah, it's Friday, Randy's live. So Randy would be live pretty much every Friday like clockwork. One second, guys. And then you would have Dots and Loop in Canada. So Randy and Dots and Loops would kind of like trade off. They would interchange who would go live this week, live that week. So that's what I watched for a while when it came to VC live streams, was Randy and Dots and Loops. In fact, Dots and Loops is what got me to explore more of the psych genre, especially the stuff from the 60s and the 70s, because I'm not too well versed in the 60s and 70s psych, but Dots and Loops taught me a lot about it, and now I know a little bit. Not enough to consider myself a psych expert, but yeah, he got me into psych. Hello, Dwayne. So I'm thinking, who else during that time did I watch besides Dots and Loops and Randy? That was like 2017. That was like pre-StreamYard, because as you know, StreamYard either helped the vinyl community or it ruined the vinyl community. In my opinion, it's a mixed bag. It's great having the streams, but also in the same vein, some people, that's all they do on their channels is StreamYard. And I'm one of those people. So I can't really be talking shit when I'm one of those people that does StreamYard. Oh, hello, Hoobs Group. I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment. Hello, Belle. We're going to run the stream. We're going to run the stream for another 20 minutes. Maybe we'll put it on the charger and run it a little longer because my phone is going to die. Yeah, I stream on my phone, guys. I know I could stream. On, what is it? I could stream on StreamYard, but I'm just too lazy to get up StreamYard. So we're streaming on my phone. But we do have some pretty good features for being on the YouTube app. We can retouch me, which I don't really care. You know, when there's people that are like, oh my gosh, I gotta get my face made up, I gotta put on makeup before I do streams. I don't care. I honestly don't care about those things. I'm a person that really doesn't care. What you see is what you get. When you see me on streams, this is me. I don't want to go hide behind 85 pounds of makeup and, you know, talk to you guys behind 85 pounds of makeup, because I feel that is so disingenuous. That is so fake. I feel like it's fine when people are wearing makeup for like special occasions or for special events. But when I'm streaming to you guys, hiding behind like 85 pounds of makeup just feels so not real. I don't know. Then again, a lot of those makeup influencers, they do hide behind 85 pounds of makeup when they stream. I don't even know how. Makeup wouldn't help. I'm just being really honest with you. I remember I had worn makeup recently. Let me put this on the charger. I had worn makeup recently to go to my cousin's wedding. And let me be really super honest with you. The makeup made me look older. I look like, this is the legit thing. I look like I was someone's mother-in-law. That's what the makeup made me look like. I look like I was going to a wedding of one of my kids. I look like someone's mother-in-law with the makeup. The makeup aged me badly. It did. In my opinion, it aged me. People are going to sit there and they're going to say, no, but makeup makes you look younger. No, it doesn't make me look younger. It might make other people look younger. Makeup might make other people look younger, but me, I'm 43. The makeup made me look like I was in my late 50s, okay? It aged me by like 10, 10 to 15 years. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I wear, Belle, the reason why I wear makeup is because for special occasions, for like events where I feel like I need makeup, I wear it because I don't want to look bad. Like my cousin's wedding, I wore makeup because it's my cousin's wedding and it's a wedding. You don't want to look bad at a wedding. I can't get into false eyelashes either. The thing about it is I don't even know how to go about applying it. And I don't know if I need false eyelashes, to be really honest with you. My main thing when it comes to my face is what I put on my face skincare wise. That's my main thing, okay? I'm like, you know what? I can take care of my skin other ways. So I put on some skincare stuff. Now, another reason why I don't wear much makeup is because when I had worn makeup in the past, it had actually made my skin break out. And that's the problem, is that my skin breaks out when I put on makeup. And when I take it off, I like have like this acne on my face, and I'm thinking to myself, am I sensitive to makeup? Because when I put on makeup, my skin breaks out, and I don't like that. I don't like that. And you know, my mom, my sisters have told me you don't need it. You don't need it because you look fine without it. My mom's an honest person. She'll tell you like it is. False eyelashes just look terrible. I see 20-year-olds walking these like no, people in their 20s. I could see people in their 20s, you know, wanting to have the big eyelashes and to have, you know, the eyebrows and the makeup. I could see wanting to, you know, look glamorous in your 20s because you're trying to attract a mate, right? So, well, I'm not saying everybody is, but some of the women in their 20s are trying to attract a guy, and they're trying to get a guy. And also there are women in their 20s that just want to wear makeup to feel good about themselves, and they like the way they look. Belle is right. Brighten the cheeks with blush. Okay. I do have blush, guys. I bought some blush. I bought some blush about a year ago from Walmart. So I do have some blush. I will take your advice because you girls know what you're talking about. I'm not very good when it comes to makeup, to be really honest with you. I'm kind of overwhelmed by it. That's probably why I don't wear it a lot, because I'm overwhelmed by what you do with it. Because I was watching a video in the past, and there's just so many steps that go into achieving makeup. And as an autistic person, it just overwhelmed me. I was like, man, just so many steps to making your face look good. I was like, forget about it. Who's the hoochie mamas? Hoochie mamas? Kimba and Belle are not hoochie mamas, Fred. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no hoochie mamas in my stream. There's only like fabulous women in my stream. Hoochie mamas don't come to my stream. Hoochie mamas go to Captain Spaulding's stream. Yeah, I said it. Hoochie mamas go to Captain Spaulding's stream. Clock it. Now, Kimba and Belle are... She's a cutie. Kimba's a cutie. She's a cutie, Fred. Kimba's been on my stream for years. I love Kimba to death. I love the fuck out of Kimba, okay? Kimba gives me good advice. Kimba gives me good advice. I'll take that into consideration, Belle. A natural brush, tinted brush, or pig. You guys are giving me good advice. Because I do want to wear it sometime, but I'm like, I am like, spitting image, you'll love them. I am like, so overwhelmed when it comes to putting it on. Like, that's why I don't wear it much. But I want to wear a little bit of it at times. But I don't want to overdo it to the point where I look like Bozo the Clown. Like, I don't want to be that one girl that's got like heavy eyeshadow, like big red lips, so much makeup that I look like I'm from Exis in UK. Nah. Can you not say the word Trump now without it being blocked? Trump, 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 Trump. I don't have Trump in my block words. Hell, I don't care what you guys want to say. I'm not going to block you for it. Like, nah. Anybody who blocks the word Trump is kind of petty. I don't block it. Because I realize that with my streams, I will have people who are Democrats and I will have people who are Republicans. And at the end of the day, in my streams, I welcome everybody to my streams. Because I'm not one of those kind of streamers that are like, fuck you. You can't be in my stream because you're a Trump supporter. Look, you can support whoever you want. As long as you're respectful, I don't give a shit who you support. I'm not that extreme person that's going to go and delete people off my friends list because they are Trump supporters. I have relatives who are Trump supporters that I have to see at events that we have for our family, on my mom's side of the family. So we just learn to be cordial with each other. Despite the fact of who we vote for, we're cordial. Because at the end of the day, I've got uncles, I've got cousins who are Trump supporters. We don't talk about that much at parties. We just have fun with each other. That's all. That's my little rant. Okay? I'm not a Trump supporter, but again, in the same token, if one of my friends votes for Trump, he votes for Trump. But at the end of the day, not all Trump supporters are like the ones that you see on the TV screens. That's all. Maybe they blocked you from saying splitting image and Trump. Because I honestly don't know. I don't have words that are blocked on here. I know that moderators, some of them can block stuff. Because I give moderators the right to be able to block things. But that's it. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Not a Dem or a Republican. Still a good socialist worker party for me. That's good. That's good to hear, Kimba. Because, like, I've always been that way that, I've always been the person that I'll be friends with people regardless of their parties. I'll be friends with them because I think at the end of the day, that's what needs to happen. Is that we need to all come together. Not just try to, like, all divide ourselves. Do I agree with the things on the other side? No. But do I think we could be friends? Yes. If you want the word with... I don't know why it's happening that way, Hoobs Group, where words are not showing up, because I don't block words. I don't block words. And I had a person tell me that I blocked them. I rarely block people on here. you have to really, really, really do something shitty for me to block you. Because that someone said, oh, you blocked me. You must not like me. I can't watch your streams. And I was like, what are you on about? I don't block people that much. So it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny because if I block you, I have a reason behind why I block you. So if you can't comment on the stream, it's because you're not subscribed to me. I put the streams to subscriber only. So if you're not subscribed to my channel, I'm sorry, you can't comment. That's it. Yeah. We all need to trash each other with respect as individual, right, Sean? Good people in yes, good people in both political parties. That's exactly how I feel. That there are good people in both political parties. Like we just can't go and divide each other because both parties have their good and bad. We all need to treat each other with respect as individual. I so agree. Why did you remove your message, Hooves Grew? So I saw that the Monkeys, for those of you who are watching, I saw that the Monkeys is doing a new release. As a longtime Monkeys fan, I'm actually like, why was this released? So the Monkeys are doing a record. They're doing a record that is needle drops. And it's also going to be on CD format as well, and it's needle drops. I get that Andrew Sandoval is trying to, diversify the Monkeys catalog and trying to get a lot of stuff out. Now, is this something that I need as a person who loves the Monkeys? I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't think this is something I really need. I've been hearing people talk about it, and pretty much a lot of the Monkeys fans are like, this is not something that they're going to get for their collection. I mean, it's not something I think I need, to be really honest with you. It was just announced yesterday. It's like an A, B, or CD sides or something. It's like needle drops of Monkey songs. And I'm thinking to myself how many releases we've had in the past of things from the Monkeys. We recently had Aquarius, Jones, Unlimited, LTT. We had a recent release of that. And that album's been pressed so many times, or it's been on CD so many times. And I thought about getting the CD box set because I don't have the CD box set. So I'm thinking about that because that is my favorite Monkeys album. But I just feel like when groups just go and they're constantly releasing stuff and they release useless things that don't need to be released. Like with this new Monkey set, I don't think it's something revolutionary. It's a cash grab for sure. All artists have something that they release that's a cash grab. And whether or not you want to say it, they do. The Beatles is a very good example of a group whose record company releases a lot of cash grabs. Because we got the whole reworks of the anthology, and people have been buying that and eating it up like wine. I mean, drinking it like wine. Okay, let me. I need a good Monkeys vinyl comp in my collection. Something more than just a hit. without buying individual albums. I gotta think about that. Because I have the Monkees' Greatest Hits, which is pretty decent. I have like a couple, maybe a few of the Monkees compilations. I heard that the ones from Japan, Sean, I heard the ones from Japan are pretty good, the ones on Arista. But there's like so many compilations. There's so many compilations. There's just so many. I have the Monkees' Greatest Hits. I have the what is it that I have? It was like the Monkees Fun or something. Let me read it. You want to be okay. Sorry, my eyesight is bad and I'm going to be going to the doctor soon because I can't read some of this. But it's about money too. But yeah, I heard that the Japanese releases of Monkees like compilations are very good from what I read on Zilch. If you guys are on Facebook and you're not a part of the Zilch podcast Facebook group, you should join it. It is actually the best page, in my opinion, for Monkey stuff, is Zilch. It is ran by 4 or 5 people, including Andrew Sandoval, who's a part of it. Yeah, I heard a lot about those Arista ones. I don't know how much they cost because I know that Japanese pressings can be quite pricey, and with the fucking tariffs that we have right now, buying stuff from another country can be quite pricey. I have not bought anything outside of the US recently, but I used to buy stuff from Australia. I used to buy stuff from the UK. I've bought a lot of things from Japan because, the CDs and the records in Japan are just fantastic. And in fact, some will say that Japanese pressings are superior to US pressings. And I also heard that German pressings of records are really good as well. I've never owned. Wait, no, I take that back. I did get a German pressing one time of Pink Floyd's Relics that I found in like 2017 from Amoeba. It was just there in the used bin. It has some like visible wear on the album itself. But, I saw that album. I was like, this is pretty cool. I don't, in my collection, have a lot of Pink Floyd. And I know there's people that will say that Pink Floyd is very overrated. But, I have Dark Side of the Moon, A Saucer Full of Secrets. I have, what else I have? Dark Side of the Moon, Saucer Full of Secrets. I have Relics. I do want to get some other Pink Floyd stuff. I do want to get Animals. I do want to get what else? I want to get Medley. Oh yeah, I also have The Wall too. I forgot about that. I have The Wall. Let me think. How many records did the Monkees make? Now I have to go off the top of my head and remember all of the names. I know Medley. Yes, Medley. I do want to get Medley. I don't think that Medley has been repressed. I think Medley is kind of like, if you find it, most of the pressings of Medley are probably used and OG copies or second pressings. I don't think it's been repressed within the last, I want to say 30, 40 years. I've came across copies of Medley, and I've thought about getting it, but the price was like $40 or $50, and I was like, no, I don't want to spend that much for Medley. And I've, seen copies on eBay, and I've thought about getting it. I have not jumped the gun to buying a copy of Medley, to be really honest with you. I have not. I'm just waiting for a price that I think would be decent enough for what I want to pay for Medley. And, I also want to get Animals, too. But, do I want to have Pink Floyd's entire discography? Probably not. Also, Gates at the, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Adam Hart. There's a lot of albums out there. It's just, with certain groups, I like to have a handful of albums, but I don't want to get the entire collection. Like, I'm not that dedicated to a group where I need to have the entire discography. Now, to answer your question, Hoobs Group, I had to kind of think on the top of my head what albums we have for the Monkees. We have More of the Monkees. We have Aquarius Jones Unlimited. We have The Birds and the Bee, Headquarters, Changes, More of the Monkees. It's like, do I want to pull out my box set and tell you? Now I feel like I gotta pull out my box set. Obscured by Clouds. Yeah, I do like that album. There's so much by Pink Floyd that I'm like, do I need it? Do I want it? Is it? Guys, I found the tote bag that I've been looking for. The one that I thought I lost. Okay. I found it. Because I can't replace that tote bag. Okay, let me go pull out my Monkees albums. Why do I also have eyeshadow from Lucky Charms? Let me pull it out, the box set, and we can tell you. Now I gotta clean this room later. Okay. Oh yeah, we have the Monkees Present. I almost forgot about that one. We have the Monkees Present. We have the Birds and the Bees. So we have 1, 2, Birds and the Bees, Jones and Capricorn Unlimited 3, Instant Replay, that's 4, Changes, Headquarters, More of the Monkees. So we have this one that is just the Monkees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 records. I pulled out my RSD release that I got back in 2016 because I figured that was a great way for me to get all the Monkees album. If you guys want to look it up, it's a classic album collection. It's the Monkees 50th anniversary record. I'm sure you can find copies of it on eBay, or you can find copies of it on whatever website, Discogs. It goes for about maybe more than what I paid for it, because when I got it, I paid $130 back in 2016. So it's probably going for like $200, maybe close to $300, depending on what seller you're looking at. Thank you. Because it's kind of, I'm not like an expert on the Monkees, but I know from past that a lot of the Monkees fans love the Monkees Japanese releases. But Zilch is the place to ask if you're trying to determine what to get Monkees wise. Zilch is the place to ask, because Andrew Sandoval, who is the historian of the Monkees, he's the one that does all of the Monkees releases nowadays. And the Monkees, all their releases are done through Rhino. I believe Rhino is their record company. So Andrew Sandoval has released a lot of the monkey stuff. This new release, however, as tempting as it is, it just feels very cash grabby to me, and I will not be getting it. Because I'm like, I don't need a record of just needle drops. You know, I could just go take my record out and I could play it on my turntable and do my own needle drops. I don't need a record of people dropping things on the needle. I get it. I get it that Andrew Sandoval wanted to do something that was organic, something that was unpolished, but, you know, I don't need every release that the Monkees do, because I don't. And they've done so many pressings in the past of particular albums of the Monkees that I did not pick up. Like, I think Run Out Grooves did a pressing of The Birds and the Bee. And we've had a pressing recently of Headquarters that I thought about getting, because I don't have it on red and blue vinyl. But then I thought, I already have Headquarters. I already have, it's like, how many color variants do I need of the Monkees? Because I had to say to myself, do I need to go and buy all these different color variants of the Monkees? Because I don't. Let me catch up with the comments, guys. Yeah, it's just Piper and Saucer. So Piper and Saucer are good albums. I limit myself to Saucer and a few of the albums up to medley. Oh, you're not. Well, I happen to like The Wall, and I happen to like Wish You Were Here, which I do want to get that as well. But I can understand how people are kind of more into Pink Floyd in the 70s versus their stuff they did in the 80s. Because don't get me wrong, I will not get the final cut. I will not get, you know, a momentary lapse. I'm just not really into. I'm not really into when Pink Floyd kind of decided they were gonna be this whole different sound in the late 80s. Like, I know they're like certain albums that are Gilmore centric, or there are certain albums that are like Roger centric. And to tell you the truth, if I had to say who was the better of the two that I like when it comes to Pink Floyd, it's Gilmore. I like Gilmore. I would see Gilmore now, because I've seen the videos of Roger recently. Roger's become a bit arrogant. He's just, I just want to say to Roger Waters, you need to fucking shut your mouth, man. Like, ugh. I've seen some interviews with Roger, and I'm like, Roger, what? I'm like, Roger, what the hell are you on? Because as a person who got into Pink Floyd, I want to say high school. This was the 90s. And watching interviews of Roger Waters from the last 5 years, I'm like, dude, because we know that Roger Waters is very out there politically. I mean, in one of his shows, he had like a freaking pig in the show. And you guys know what that's for. The Wall is great too. Thank you for your suggestion, guys. Because like, I want to like diversify my collection, but also I like to keep my collection me. Like, I like to have the stuff that I have in it. Some people will tell me, oh my God, why do you have that record? Or why do you have that? Or why did you collect that thing? Because I think, you know, a record is uniquely you. And you collect what you want for your record collection. For me, I've always made my record collection uniquely me. I never changed my record collection to be something it's not. My record collection has always been me. And I've been thinking about what I've been adding to it recently. And I haven't been buying a lot of records lately. I still very much love records, but I said to myself that these two shelves that I have in my room, which are the 8 cube and the 6 cube, that's that. I am not going to be buying more shelving units for records because I feel like people get into this thing of collecting where once their record shelf is full, they go and they buy more shelves, and then they go buy more shelves and more shelves for the records. It's like if you can control your collection and have it to a certain area and just keep it that way, that's fine. But once your record collection gets to a point, once your record collection gets to a point where you are having to actually run, you having it overtake your room or wherever you are, then yeah. I mean, I'm not shading on the people who have their own rooms for their record collection, and that's what their room is for the record collection. I'm talking about the people who have their record collections in their living room or have their record collections in their bedroom. I'm like, as long as your record collection is not overtaking things in your room and you're able to have other things in your room, then it's all good. It's all good because when I first started collecting records back in 2014, I had them in a crate. That was my very first legit setup. Is I had them in a crate and I had my turntable next to me. I had 75 records back in 2014. So I had a little crate. And then one day we had gone to IKEA. And I told my mom I wanted to get a shelving unit. Originally I was going to get a bookcase. But my mom had saw that the Kylex was on sale. So we went and we bought the Kylex shelf, 8 cube, and I still have it. It's my main shelf. If you see my pictures on Instagram or you see some of my videos where I film behind it, I still have that shelf 10 years later. I bought it back in 2015 and it's held up well. And recently, I think about maybe a year ago, I decided to add another shelf because my 8 cube had, filled up and I just had the space to have another shelf in my room. So it's perfect now. I will not be adding any more shelves. The 8 cube and the 6 cube shelves are just perfect. I, however, will be getting dividers in the near future. That's the plan. I do want to get dividers. I want to have, A to B, C, D, I want to have that. And I do want to sort these records. And I do want to get them all in alphabetical order. And I want to get everything sorted out. Because that's the plan. That's the plan. I want to make that area a little more organized. Because right now I have about 100 and something records that are not in alpha order. I just, stuff them on my shelf and that's that. So they're not in alpha order. So what I want to do, actually is to get them all in order. And then I want to make dividers from A to Z for my records. And then I want to have dividers made for my K-pop because my K-pop's in a certain section. And I want to have dividers for my soundtrack section because I have been adding soundtracks to my collection. I don't have a very big soundtrack section, but I do want to add more soundtracks in the future to my collection. And also, I have other stuff I want to collect as well. I want to collect TV show soundtracks So I kind of want to make it a little more organized. Because, most of my records for the most part are in alphabetical order. But I just feel like I need to, get that under control. Because I'm about 600 and something records. I haven't, updated my Discogs in like 5 years, but I know I have about 600 something records. And I, also have gotten rid of some records within the last 5 years. I also have some stuff that was given to me, because of my channel, and I haven't listened to them. I'm not talking about VCLT, I'm talking about stuff that was given to me by companies. Like, I have stuff from Black Box Record Club. I have stuff that I won from people. I have stuff that, was sent to me. I've slowed my purchasing of new albums, although I did get Isaac Hayes' soundtrack of the film Truck. Yeah, you have to have Isaac Hayes. I mean, hell, I'd make exceptions for Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes was the 70s. Isaac Hayes, George Clinton, Funk, Parliament, Sly Family and the Stone. Oh, there's just so much good music that came out of the 70s. And I don't know a lot about black exploitation, but I know that Dusty and Tim love the whole black exploitation thing. And they know more about that, but like I feel like Isaac Hayes is the GOAT. And you do have to make exceptions for certain things. You can't just say 100% I'm going to give up on buying records, because there's certain things that you need to have in your collection. And I feel like let me put this down a little. I feel like a lot of the stuff that I've been adding to my collection are things I thoroughly enjoyed. Like, the last purchase I made was I bought the Rockin' Robin SWQK record. It's the season 5 record for Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things. It's one of my absolute favorite shows. So when that came out, of course, I went and I bought that because I love Stranger Things, and I don't own anything of Stranger Things. And then a lot of times I also finding myself buying things from when I was a kid, or things from my 20s that I had on CD that I just felt like I need to have it on vinyl. So I find myself doing that. Also, I've been also buying a lot of records that my dad had. Like a lot of stuff he had from the 60s and the 70s, because there was a lot of things my dad had in the past, but my mom got rid of a lot of things. So my dad does not have a lot of his records, and what he does have, I do have. But I remember that one time when I found a copy of Rumors, and I was really excited because my dad, this must have been about 1987, 86. My dad had a copy of Rumors in the house, and I remember seeing it on the shelf, and I don't remember what happened to it. So for me to find a copy of Rumors was like very full circle, because my dad had that. Everybody in the 70s had Rumors pretty much on vinyl. I mean, pretty much everybody. So to find some records that my dad used to have, and to be able to add that to my collection, is a full circle moment. But I totally agree with you. I've also been trying to collect Black's exploitation soundtracks little by little. I have about 15 to 20 so far, but I want to go deeper down that particular rabbit. I totally get you. I've been wanting to go deeper down the whole soundtrack rabbit hole. Like, I want to find soundtracks to movies that I love. There was a recent thing, now that I'll talk about it since we are still here on stream. I can go for a little bit longer. Quentin Tarantino had recently said that he thought that Paul Dano was a weak actor. And then he went and also bashed Matthew Lidar, and I forgot who else he went at. But I'll be really honest with you. I'll be really super honest with you. Paul Dano, in my opinion, is not a weak actor. He's done a lot of great movies. He was in Ruby Sparks. He played younger Brian Wilson in Love and Mercy. He was in There Will Be Blood, which if you have not seen There Will Be Blood, it's one of those movies that I think you see it once and you see it. It's not one of those movies that I'd find myself going to revisit again. I saw it on Netflix. I had to watch it because my curiosity piqued the better half of me, because I do like Daniel Day-Lewis, Lincoln. I do like what other movie was he in? He was in a lot. Was he in the last? I think he was in the Last of the Mohicans. He was in a lot of movies. I'm not like a Daniel Day-Lewis aficionado, but I think he was in a movie about something left. But anyways, back to my original main point. There's a lot of movies that Paul Dano's been in. Riddler. 12. I think he was also in 12 Years a Slave. Little Miss Sunshine. I just think, Quentin Tarantino, excellent film. I've seen it once, but I do agree with you. It's a very, very excellent film. Quentin Tarantino, his movies pretty much have a similar, I just want to say it has a similar kind of vibe. When you watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, okay, Quentin Tarantino, it's a Quentin Tarantino movie because his movies are just, I don't know. I mean, I'll be really super honest with you when it comes to Quentin Tarantino. Yes, he's a jackass, but, I really like the Kill Bill movies. I thought those were great. The Kill Bill movies. I like the Django Unchained. Pulp Fiction was great. I like that. I mean, Quentin Tarantino is not a bad director. It's just he's a very opinionated guy. Now, do I agree with him on what he thinks about Matthew Lidar? I mean, Matthew Lidar, he knows he's not an A-list actor. He knows he's not going to be nominated for an Oscar. And that's totally fine. There are actors out there that know that they are great at what they do, but they're never going to be nominated for an Oscar. Like Ryan Reynolds, probably more than likely, will never be nominated for an Oscar. I just don't see Ryan Reynolds getting nominated. Dwayne Johnson, who knows? I'm talking about actors that you see in so many movies that they probably will never be nominated. Jason Statham. Who else? A lot of these comedic actors will probably more than likely not get nominated. Although Adam Sandler actually has done some movies in the past where I was like, wow. Adam Sandler was proving that he can do serious movies. Like, I really loved Uncut Gems. I thought that was fantastic. I really loved Punch Drunk Love. I thought that was great. And then there were some other movies that Adam Sandler did that were more on the serious side, which really proved to me that Adam Sandler was more than just a comedic actor, because with certain actors, right? With certain actors, what the heck? Wait, guys. With certain actors who are comedic actors, they do comedic movies, and that's what people know them for, and they can't really go past their comedic stuff. But it was great when you have people like Adam Sandler, you have people like Jim Carrey, you have people like Robin Williams, who proves that they could very well do serious roles and ache into their funny roles. Yeah, Quentin Tarantino is great, but his films are way retro and taken from the past, which is fine for his style. Yeah, Jackie Brown is another fantastic one that you brought up. Jackie Brown is great. I mean, that's the thing about Quentin Tarantino. Is Quentin Tarantino likes to, do those kind of like very retro-y kind of films. That's what he's known for. And a lot of people like Once Upon a Time Hollywood, which I think, I see why it's getting the hype. I have not personally gone to watch the movie, to be really honest with you, but I think, when it comes to directors, shoot. When it comes to directors, right? It comes to directors, you could tell a certain style from a director. Like Wes Anderson loves to do that kind of vintagey, kind of retro, over the top vibe, which I really love. Wes Anderson is one of my absolute favorite directors. I've seen so many Wes Anderson movies over the years. I love the hell out of Wes Anderson. He's great. And then you've got other directors like Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is great. I like Pan's Labyrinth. I like Frankenstein. Shape of Water, I really didn't get into. I mean, and Pinocchio was great. I thought his version of Pinocchio was better than the version that they had with Tom Hanks. So I like, and then there's also the classic, like Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, all fucking, George Lucas, Francis Ford Coppola, the veterans of directing, like them, love the stuff they do. Stanley Kubrick, love him as well. There's so many directors out there. I'm, again, not a movie aficionado. Like, I don't know everything there is to know about movies. But when Quentin Tarantino said that about Paul Dano, I was like, Quentin Tarantino, are you mad that maybe perhaps Paul Dano turned down one of your movies and didn't want to do your movies? That's why you're saying what you're saying? Because if you think about it, Quentin Tarantino, for like about maybe 2 of his movies, had this one guy named Christoph Waltz. So maybe the reason why he is saying what he's saying is because Paul Dano turned him down and didn't want to do his movie. But now I feel like I gotta go visit There Will Be Blood again. I've only seen it once, but I just feel like I gotta go visit again. Maybe I need to go down the rabbit hole of Daniel Day-Lewis again and watch more stuff. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. We went a little longer than expected. So thank you, Sean, for being here. Thank you, Dwayne, for being here. Kimba, love you. Belle, Fred, AZ Mick, Hoobs Guru, Dwayne. Thank you, everybody. He has a very huge ego. Before I go, he has a very huge ego, but he does fucking fantastic movies. You're welcome. I mean, I feel like the best directors are the ones with fucking huge egos. I'm gonna end it on that. Like, if you don't have a fucking huge ego, your movies are probably gonna suck, right? You gotta have somewhat of an ego. But we'll probably do a panel. We'll probably do a panel really soon. I don't know when I'm planning to do a panel. Maybe Dusty will do one in the future, but thanks, everybody. Love you all. Peace, love, and grooviness to you all. Treat people with kindness. Bye, guys.